Last time on the WizardCast.
Ryan, wow, you look really frazzled. And are you wearing clown makeup?
Well, you know, we're 93 episodes in, and frankly, I'm out of ideas, Mark. I just don't know what to do anymore. I mean, a purple pig and a green donkey flew into a kite in the middle of the night and still ended up sunburned.
Okay, sure. Wait, what? But what about the clown makeup?
I mean, I could just start spooning like Adam Sandler, and it wouldn't matter. Weasel Fritos, woo!
Okay, but clown makeup?
It's just so silly. I mean, I bet everyone just fast forwards this bit, and it's not even the least bit funny. Besides, it probably really confuses the new listeners that we get. I mean, we're Salesforce podcast, for crying out loud, and yet we start with some plot bit that has no relationship to Salesforce, and for that matter, it doesn't even have anything to have. Nothing with the previous episode. I mean, I did the Macarena with the spoon sliding down the hill because I thought, oh my god, I need some serious help, Mark. I just need some help.
Okay, Brian, shh, it's okay. It's okay. We can do it. We can do it. You can do it. Besides, I'll just edit out all the bad stuff and rewrite the script to sound good like I always do.
You mean that sausage cookie pumpernickel?
Yeah, man, I absolutely mean it.
I suppose I could just sit here and eat a bunch of jalapenos on the air.
Jalapenos. And you hate spicy food.
Okay, I'll try. I mean, it's just hard, you know? I mean, no one even noticed that I put on the clown makeup.
But never mind.
And now the conclusion of the WizardCast.
I'm Brian Kwong.
And I'm Mark Ross.
We're Salesforce experts that love talking about technology and Salesforce.
We also love humor. Doesn't mean we're actually good at it.
In the Salesforce community, I'm known as the Salesforce Wizard, likely due to me wearing a wizard hat at Salesforce events.
And I'm known as Salesforce Yoda for pretty much the same reason.
You should see the ears.
We have a passion to help educate and entertain people.
So we've joined forces to create WizardCast.
We've got tips and best practices.
We talk with interesting people.
All mixed with quote-unquote jokes and humor.
Welcome to the WizardCast. Why don't lobsters and crabs give more to charity?
Because they're crustaceans. They don't have money or wallets.
No, because they're shellfish.
No, well, thank you to John Reed for submitting that joke that he heard from the Tom Waits show, which I'm surprised somebody else that's relatively professional does a joke like that. We appreciate spreading the bad humor around.
Insert post-joke banter here.
Right, you're not supposed to read the cues on the script. It doesn't work that way.
Oh. You know, I really hate when I forget to remove the code comments before deploying.
Right. What is pumpernickel, by the way? You mentioned that earlier.
Oh, you didn't know. It's a dense German bread, and it's made from coarsely ground whole grain rye.
Oh, so it was a really wry joke.
I thought I'm the one that's supposed to do the bad jokes around here, Mark.
Sorry, how about we cut to the interview? All right, joining us today is our special guest, Siebren Bakker, who is
the young Santa Claus.
Yes, let me see if I get this right. The global nerd-in-chief? Is that right? Of Fragforce.
Nerd-in?
Nerd-in-chief.
Nerd-in-chief.
Yep.
Oh, nerd and chief?
In. Like Commander-in-chief.
Oh. I
Nerd-in-chief.
heard nerding as in a verb.
Well, that too. He is a nerding chief. Like, that is definitely...
Yeah. But in this case, it's the noun nerd, and then the word in, like something in, and then chief.
That is a very odd job title.
That's what happens when you make up your own job titles.
Yeah. So what is it exactly that you do?
I'm the one who originally started the Fragforce team on Extra Life and kind of took the idea, ran with it, and went crazy with it.
Okay, whoa. Sorry, let's back up one step. What is Extra Life?
Extra Life is a Children's Miracle Network program that gets gamers like me and you guys to pledge to play games, usually in marathon sessions because that's what we do, and at the same time to raise funds for our local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Kind of like so people will do walkathons, we do gameathons because most of us don't want to be out in the sun.
Or can't because we burn so easily.
That's me, yes.
And so, obviously, WizardCast, we are a Salesforce podcast, so... what is Fragforce's relation to Salesforce?
Sure. I've been working for Salesforce for 4.5 years now. springtime 2015. Gary came up to my desk and said, "Hey, have you heard of Extra Life?" All of us being engineers, our first response was no, and then we immediately Google it because that's what engineers do when you say, "Have you heard of this?" So a couple of us sitting there were like, "This is a cool idea. We should do this." 5 minutes of spitballing later, we came up with the name Fragforce because a lot of internal teams at Salesforce are Star Force.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving away from that now, but we didn't know that at the time. So we spitballing the name, came up with the name Fragforce, created the team, then said, we should do this in the office. And then immediately realized, who do we even ask to do that?
Who did you ask to do that?
It literally took us like 6 months to figure out who to even ask the right questions to the first time.
Well, it's Salesforce.
Well, it's such a big company.
Do you feel comfortable playing video games for charity at work?
Well, it was more who do we ask to be able to use the office off hours with guests? Who can authorize that? Any SV or above can do that. We know that now. It took us 6 months to figure that out the first time. So we ran our first event. We raised like $7,000, which already blew our idea of what we could do out of the water. We said, we'll make $5,000 after a year or two. We'll make $7,000 our first event.
How did you make $7,000 in your first event?
I'm still not entirely sure.
Where did you do this? Is this literally just in some office at Salesforce? And
yeah, this is in the Herndon office.
Did Benioff drop by and say, "Oh, this is entertaining," and dropped $5,796?
No, that $7,000 was all employees, families, and friends at the Herndon office. Just them.
Wow,
that's awesome.
So we decided to run some reports and volunteer for us to figure out how much VTO was this and that kind of thing. And we said, hey, look. There's guys in the Portland office. They also did Extra Life. We should talk to them.
And so for the listeners, VTO, this is a real thing that Salesforce has. When you work for Salesforce, you're given
volunteer time.
What is it?
56 hours.
56 hours of volunteer time that is paid time that you can put towards any kind of volunteer charity activity.
Yeah, and it's a huge enabling thing and it's been a huge blessing every year that this is a thing that people can do and they can get volunteer time for it. So we talked to the Portland guys. We went up with them and said, hey, we should join forces. So we did. So that very first year, 2015, the total between the two offices was $15,000, which
wow.
We've already blown 3 times our 2-year goal.
That's crazy. I've literally never heard of any team initiative doing that much in their first year.
No, it just completely blew us out of the water. So early 2016, February, Paul, Andrew, and I actually flew to San Francisco in order to present at Parker Harris's town hall, giving this idea saying, hey, we did this thing. If you guys want to do this too, talk to us. And from that, we got interest from 6 other offices where all of a sudden this turned from, this is a cool thing, we should do this, to this is a thing, we should franchise it and do it everywhere.
And there is how many teams now?
Too many. I've lost track. It's I think 12 or 13. There's 7 or 8 that are really active that have been doing it consistently every single year, and there's some that do spurts of activity. But it's every year there's been at least one more team added.
And do all the teams
or more than one
do it under the banner of Fragforce, or they'll have their team?
All of those are on Fragforce on the team.
Okay.
We had over 200 people on the team last year. What number do we have on the team right now?
Log into Chatter.
No, I'm just logging Extra Life. We have 102 team members right now.
102.
And as of right now, we are the number 1 Extra Life team in the country.
Yeah.
In terms of size or money or both?
In money raised.
Money raised.
Right now, cool. Just for Extra Life, just for the Fragforce main team, it's $53,000.
Wow.
And we've got big events coming later in the year too.
Yes. And that doesn't include 2 people in the indie office who are not part of the Extra Life Indie Guild. That's another $12,000 that they've raised this year. That's not even counted in that $53,000.
For those of you who are listening in this audio format, Brian is slack-jawed.
That is the right word for it, actually.
We need to add an audio cue for my jaw hitting the floor. That is impressive. I mean, Mark kicked off this Dungeons and Dreamforce with John Graff 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago. And I remember being, wow, look at this. We raised didn't we get 1,600 or something like that? Or
I think you're right.
yeah. But I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. I mean, that was over, a 4-week period?
Yes, over a 4-week period. Yeah.
Something like that. I can remember going, I can't imagine people doing this on a regular basis to get that kind of cash. That's impressive. But I'm glad you said you had 102 different people, because since Mark mentioned that we may be doing this interview, I decided to do some on-the-job exploring, watching Fragforce every single time it came up on Twitch to see what you guys were doing. And I was very, very confused, because it seemed like every single time someone was there, it was a completely different group of people playing completely different games.
Yes. We have regular scheduled people, but those people are all over the place, and each one's doing different things.
Yeah, I had no clue. So I kept thinking, I was wondering, why is no one recognizing my smart-ass remarks, knowing that, hey, this is the same guy repeatedly. It's because no one knew who I was, because it was always someone different on the other side of the computer.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I'm going to salve my ego. So speaking of of watching people, I know where I was watching you. Where should people go if they're interested in watching what you do and potentially donating?
We schedule regularly on twitch.tv/Fragforce. That is the main channel. There are also additional Twitch channels for each site. Some of them stream on their own in addition to that. PDX, Fragforce PDX is not the big one. They stream 3-4 nights a week.
Wow.
On their own channel. There is on Twitch under the Fragforce, there is actually a Google Calendar, so you can see when things are scheduled, what's coming up, so you can see when people are going to be streaming. And that's the main place where you'll find us streaming wise.
And there would be links to donate off of twitch.tv/Fragforce. And
yes, we have a bot that actually will. I wouldn't not spam, but he'll post the donate link for whoever is currently streaming in chat every 10-15 minutes. And there's also a donate command that will give you a personalized link based on who's currently streaming.
Very nice. Fancy bot.
So that functionality is one stuff that we actually built ourselves.
Yeah, there's a lot that you guys do. You're constantly building your own code, building your own bots. It's pretty impressive.
I was going to say, Mark, why didn't we do stuff like that? I mean, come on.
And it's all on GitHub too.
See,
GitHub.com/Fragforce.
It's on an open repository, Mark. I completely blame you.
Yep. So these are just the regular streaming efforts. And the events are kind of the big ones. I think when we actually go interview, it's going to be Monday before this goes live. And I think Dublin's event is this weekend. So
correct. Friday, Saturday this week, July 5th and 6th, Dublin will be streaming. And
as in Ireland.
Dublin, Ireland, which is special because they are not supporting Extra Life, because Extra Life is a North American only charity. Dublin is supporting Child's Play, which is another children's charity started by the guys who make the Penny Arcade comic that gets people to donate money, toys, and goods. And then they use that in order to buy toys and games and stuff for kids in hospitals and domestic violence shelters. Because 2016, Dublin came out and said, we want to do this. And we were like, oh, well, that's a problem because Extra Life is North American only. So we need to find something else you guys can support. So that's why we're also supporting Child's Play.
So there's Herndon, Virginia. There's Portland. There's San Francisco. There's Indy. There's Dublin.
When we say Indy, are you
Indianapolis?
Indianapolis.
Because I was going to say, is that Indiana, Indianapolis, or is that really weird short for India?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if I said Chicago. I think
Chicago is one we're trying to start up right now. You did miss Colorado.
Oh,
you also missed the remote team, which you yourself lead.
I'm trying not to be.
Wait. You missed your own event?
I'm trying not to talk myself up. You
missed your own event?
First. Not event. He is the franchise leader, the nerd in chief for our Fragforce remote team, for all of our remote employees who are not based around a specific office or can't come to an office. He stepped up this year, and that's why we now have a remote team.
And potentially more, but we'll come back to that. So we have all of these groups. We have Dublin. I think there's talk of Sydney perhaps starting out.
Sydney did reach out to us earlier this year with interest. They're trying to find the people in the office that they can support their events. Bellevue is another one that we're working on building back up again.
Right. So here's what I'm getting at. If somebody is listening to this and they would like to help take part in these events, do they have to be a Salesforce employee?
I don't believe there's a requirement for that.
I actually thought we were moving away from that. Like,
we are moving away from that because we keep getting volunteers and stuff. For example, our community manager is not an employee at all.
Right, exactly.
As she waves from sitting next to me.
True. So if somebody was in the San Francisco area, I believe that the HQ team actually does open their doors. I think you have to sign up ahead of time.
Yes, we do. We do require people to sign up ahead of time or at events because you have to sign an NDA in order to enter the office, that kind of thing.
And I'm going to apologize, but I have to do this. Mark, 2 episodes in a row.
2 episodes in a row with my alarm going off at the middle of the interview. Jeez. Okay, my apologies.
We're so professional. It's a good thing. We don't interview really high up on the food chain, right? We don't get SVPs or co-founders or CEOs, right, Mark?
Yeah, that'll never happen.
You'd be surprised and she'll get to start talking to people.
Not with his attitude, mister.
So yes, and so that's the other thing is the remote team, right? We started for remote employees, but obviously we're not going to be having an event where people are coming to an office. So when the remote team starts doing events later in the year, we would like community members to take part as well. And
speaking of community, the easiest way to get a hold of people on Fragforce, if you are outside the offices or even in the offices, is via Discord. Discord.fragforce.org is a redirect to a permanent invite to join our Discord server. And that is a great way to find more information and find people to ask questions of.
Exactly. And there's a Fragforce...
What's Discord?
Oh, boy.
Look, I know what Discord is, but it's for people who don't know what Discord is.
Good point.
Discord is a freely available chat voice... What a communication platform?
It's kind of like a governed IRC with voice capability.
I love that you referenced the definition with an older technology that people who probably don't even know what that is.
Okay, all right. It's organized chat rooms.
Think Slack with audio and sometimes video.
Slack actually has audio now.
Think Slack, but it's called Discord.
I didn't know Slack had audio until someone called me on Slack the other day.
Well, there you go. This is how we learn. So yeah, anybody can join the Fragforce Discord. There's also a Fragforce website, I believe.
Yes, fragforce.org.
And which
also will give you links to all upcoming events. Oh. And the sign-up links for them are also included in there.
Yeah, how many events do you think we've got left in the year, just out of curiosity?
I know there's some missing.
Right.
Actually, I know there's a bunch missing.
I haven't put mine in yet.
Herndon's fall event is missing still, too. And no, we don't have a date for that yet.
So whatever number we have, maybe double it.
Probably. All of the active sites, at least, are doing at least one more big event this year.
Yeah, I mean, coming up, it looks like you have Dublin, which we already talked about, which probably will air, or not air, probably occur before this actually airs. But then we have an Indianapolis event on July 17th from 8 a.m. to the 7 p.m., so almost...
well, it depends on your time zone.
Is your website updating for time zone?
Yes, it automatically translates to your local time zone.
Fancy! So you guys can ignore the times I'm going to say. Just go to fragforce.org. Again, links will be in there. But it looks like you have another one coming up on July 17th, which is based out of the team in Indianapolis.
The Indy Summer Games, yep.
And then you have a couple posted in September, but I'm going to guess you got stuff missing, as you mentioned. But otherwise, it looks like you have...
November for game day is going to be the big one. There'll be a lot of overlap.
Which looks to be at November 1st and 2nd, right? For game day?
Yes, Extra Life Game Day, which always happens to be the same weekend as Daylight Savings Time.
Always a good choice.
Is November 2nd this year.
But people don't have to wait for an event.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Because there's regular streaming going on.
Oh, yeah, no, there are 5-6 different streams a week that I know of off the top of my head.
And as a matter of fact, you're streaming right now as we are recording this. It looks like that you are playing Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Weekly, we have a D&D stream on Sundays. We have Borderlands on Sundays. Monday and Wednesday evenings, Ben does Nostalgia Blindness. He's playing a lot of older games. Tuesday, Thursday nights, Herndon does Mining for Goods and for Good, which is a Minecraft Age of Engineering stream.
Ooh.
Also Tuesday and Thursday evenings, Mark from the indie office is currently playing through Mass Effect 2. He played through all of the Halo games and then the first Mass Effect, and now he's on 2. So he'll be doing Mass Effect 3 after this. Wednesday and Friday evenings also, Eve from the indie office is streaming various games.
Very nice. But people don't have to sit and watch you play to participate,
No.
right? So
No, absolutely not.
if you're not going to participate by reaching out and potentially playing and joining a team, and you don't want to participate by watching, you can still participate by looking in the chat, chatting with the people who are playing or the other people in the chat, or simply donating.
Absolutely.
And there is no wrong amount to donate.
No, Extra Life is very careful to let people know that every dollar really does make a difference. For example, just to give you an example, $1 is 3 premium diapers.
Wow, those are really cheap diapers. I think I paid $4 for a preemie diaper.
Well, you see, the palm on my hand is bigger than the entire diaper.
I had 2 preemies, so not me, my wife technically.
Oh yeah, and your average baby goes through 8 of those in a day, 8 to 10. So every dollar really does make a difference.
Every diaper makes a difference.
Yeah, that too.
All right. Was there anything else that you wanted to say, since you have the ability? You have an audience of people that perhaps you wouldn't ordinarily have.
At least our mothers.
Yes, at the very least.
Yes.
Who doesn't know what Twitch is? Hi, Mom.
Yes. That's very true. We are using a lot of technological things. We're streaming on Twitch. We're running these events in offices and stuff. But really, just come, be involved. If you can't watch the streams, if you can't donate, spread the word.
Mm.
Maybe there's someone who sees your post about this thing that can donate or that can join, that wouldn't have heard of it beforehand without you. Those spreading the word really does make a humongous difference, because everyone knows so many more people that wouldn't have heard of these things beforehand or otherwise.
Everybody at least knows somebody who plays games, right? Even if they don't themselves.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Siebren, for coming onto the show and helping to spread the word and raise money for the kids.
Thank you very much for having me. I hope you guys have a good one.
WizardCast is produced by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, directed by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, technical administration by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, script writing by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, audio editing by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, website maintenance by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, and our intern in this episode with Jim Mitchell.
You can be an intern too. Just follow us at WizardCast_pod on Twitter.
And if you take pictures of us when you see us live at events, make sure you share them with us so we can add you to the list.
If you have a joke, interview suggestion, or other comments, you can let us know. Call and leave a voice recording at 608-492-0321 or email wizardcast@thewizardnews.com.
And I want to hear from you. If you could ask Parker Harris one question or multiple questions, you can submit multiple times. Please do. What would it be?
Submit your question by going to bit.ly/ParkerQuestions and fill out our short form.
And we'll be doing another one of our popular idea exchange highlights where we highlight an idea on the idea exchange. It doesn't have to be the one that you submitted. It could be one that you supported or something that you just want to hear us talk about. Let us know what those ideas are.
Go to bit.ly/idea highlight to submit that idea to us.
And don't forget to subscribe to the WizardCast and receive our next episode automagically.
Please post reviews on Apple Podcasts, aka iTunes, and share this episode. It helps others to hear what you just had to endure.
Once again, I'm Brian.
And I'm just going to make a phone call real quick. Brian, you stay right there. Don't leave your house for the next 20 minutes or so. Yeah, no, he's there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, make sure you bring the white coats. Yeah, and the straight jacket. Otherwise, it won't make any sense. Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for listening. Oh, excuse me, Mark. Someone's at the door.
And it's Macarena, not macaroni.
Did I say macaroni?
You said macaroni.
Man, what was I doing in the 90s? Oh, that.
Not the Macarena.
Just put the... I know, I'm sorry. It's cheesy
Put the
joke.
lotion on the skin? What?
It's a